Hey everyone, it's Allie and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a Dua fragrances haul. Y'all know I love Dua fragrances. I love that they're high quality. I love the price points. I pretty much love everything about the company. I've been buying from them for a few years now. I've been building my Dua collection. I really do love their originals. I love their concept series where they mix two really popular fragrance DNAs and combine them into one. And I really do love that they make their own takes on popular niche and designer fragrances. And a lot of the times they do replicas of discontinued or really hard to get fragrances that are just really unattainable for a lot of people. I know for a lot of us who collect fragrances, saving money could be really hard when you want to build a collection and you want to experience what's out there, especially in the niche world. At least that's how it is for me. And what I really love with Dua fragrances is that it really lets me delve more into the niche world and sort of get a feel of what other houses have to offer, and supporting Dua fragrances at the same time. Like, it's a win-win for me. But today I have, I believe, 8 fragrances that I'm going to be talking about. And yeah, if you're interested, then definitely just stay tuned. We're gonna get with the first one. And the first one I want to talk about, and before I start the video too, there will be a lot of Tom Ford inspired fragrances in this video. I just now noticed, like when I started looking, I was like, wait a minute. Almost everything is like Tom Ford inspired. So I think I was like on a Tom Ford like kick or something when I ordered like all of these, but nonetheless, the first one we're going to talk about is Dua's Blondie, and this is their take on Tom Ford's Violet Blonde, I believe. So this is a really beautiful violet fragrance. My fragrance, my lovers of violet, you're really going to enjoy this one. It's violet, pink pepper, mandarin orange. You have iris, orris, root, jasmine. You've got suede, leather, benzoin, musk. You have vetiver and Virginian cedarwood. And this is really, really beautiful. I've worn this a couple times since I've gotten it, and I think this would be great in the summertime, especially if you like very refreshing, light, slightly green fragrances. There's something very uplifting and beautiful and ultra feminine about this one that I really, really do like. And I like the inclusion of this slight greenness that this has. I personally love green fragrances. I think they're really classic. I think they're really beautiful, especially in hot weather in spring and summer. I gravitate towards a lot of fragrances that tend to have greener notes, and this is no exception. I think it's really beautiful. It's a really well done violet sort of powdery fragrance that has a slight greenness to it, but it's still really feminine and really beautiful. It lasts a pretty long time on my skin. I never got to try the original Tom Ford Violet Blonde, but I heard a lot of good things about it, and I used to read a lot of reviews on it, so I was super excited that they resurrected this discontinued gem, because personally I don't want to like source a bottle that's going to cost me like 300 bucks because someone has like upped the price on it. So this is a really good alternative. I really love it. I think it's beautiful. Definitely check it out, you guys. Dua's Blondie. The next one that I'm going to talk about is another Tom Ford one. This one is another one that I believe is discontinued. It's called Night in the Desert, and this is their take on Tom Ford's Sahara Noir. You've got a ton of notes in this one. You've got labdanum, cypress, you've got bitter orange, calamus, incense, beeswax, cinnamon, you've got cedar, vanilla, you've got papyrus, jasmine, rose. Like, I could literally go on and on and on. There's balsam, there's benzoin, there's oud in this as well. But predominantly what I get from this is the most beautiful cedar beeswax sort of fragrance. It's really, really beautiful. It almost smells like someone made a beekeeping box and it was made of cedar, and it's full of honeycomb. I almost get this really waxy honeycomb vibe from this, and a very light cedary smell. And this is really, what I love about this is that it reminds me of my childhood. My grandpa was a beekeeper. He had a lot of bees on the property. I'm very familiar with the smell of like just bees and like, what are they called? The beekeeping boxes that are made of wood, and the smell of honeycomb in particular, because he would always bring like these massive chunks of honeycomb into the house and we would all nibble on it, and like, oh my gosh, it was so delicious. But this smells like cedar and beeswax. It's so, so beautiful. It's lightly sweetened by that little bit of honey that comes through, and that vanilla and benzoin as well. I really like this. I think it's so beautiful. And the great thing about this fragrance is that it gets better the longer it dries down on the skin. Now, to me, like the opening smells a bit more masculine and it stays about that way maybe for like about an hour or two. And then it slowly starts rounding out the further you wear it. And it becomes this really smooth, woody, honey, beeswaxy sort of fragrance. It's so, so beautiful. There's this muskiness that sits in the base that just radiates off the body so beautifully. This is marketed towards women. Honestly, I think this should be unisex because I can easily see a man rocking this and I would love to smell this on a man. It is just so sexy, so refined, so smooth, and just a 10 out of 10. My woody lovers out there, check this one out. My lovers of honey, check this one out. It's really, really beautiful. Super underrated in my opinion. Check it out, you guys. Night in the Desert. It's really, really good. The next one that we're going to talk about was one that I was really excited for, honestly. This is Road to Rebellion, and this is their take on Killian's Good Girl Gone Bad, the Eau Fraiche version. Now, Good Girl, I can never say anything right. Good Girl Gone Bad, Eau Fraiche is one that I didn't end up buying. It was one I was really excited to buy when it came out, but when I had sampled it, it just didn't last on my skin for some reason. It was really fleeting, it was really light. It still retained that Good Girl Gone Bad DNA, which I truly love. You guys know it's like my #1 floral scent is Good Girl Gone Bad by Killian. I love that scent, it's my favorite. It's just a beautiful green, almost a peachy osmanthus tuberose heavy sort of fragrance, and I love it. I think it's so beautiful, so elegant, so refined, and this carries that same quality in it, but it has watery notes. So this is orange blossom, Turkish rose, you've got Moroccan rose, you've got those watery notes I was talking about, Egyptian jasmine, tuberose, and musk. And what I love is that it's near identical to the Eau Fraiche. Like, I really, really like this one a lot, you guys. This is really, really beautiful on skin. On me, for some weird reason, I get this sort of really indolic, sort of fecally sort of effect that is coming, I think, from the jasmine and the tuberose. I don't know what it is about the Eau Fraiche that gives this sort of effect on my skin. And it lasts for about the first hour of the wear of the fragrance. But I noticed that with the original that this one's inspired by, it had the same effect going on my skin. I'm not too sure why it is that it gives off this sort of slightly indolic, fecally sort of effect. It's not like overtly like, oh, it smells like shit or anything. But it is there nonetheless, and I do find that in this one as well. But once it goes away and it dries down about an hour later, I don't smell it, and it just smells like Good Girl Gone Bad, but slightly aquatic and a little bit more airy. And I really, really like this one, you guys. This is definitely going to be a staple for me this summer. I'm super excited to wear it, honestly. And it's a 10 out of 10 in my book, you guys. Road to Rebellion, like, it's really, really good. The next one that I'm going to talk about is Sour Peach, and this one is their take on Tom Ford again. This is take on Tom Ford's Bitter Peach. Now, this smells so close to Bitter Peach, you guys. I will say this one is more potent and more boozy than the original. I have tried out the original Bitter Peach in the past. Every time I go to Nordstrom, I always go to the sample counter, not the sample counter, the fragrance counter, and I sample the Tom Ford fragrances, and this is super close. It's a lot denser though, it's a lot heavier. All of Dua's fragrances are extrait to parfum, so that is why they're so much denser and so much more intense and in your face than the originals. The original is already a pretty strong scent, at least on me, but this is like that scent on steroids. It's really, really potent, really, really strong, and I really, really like it. You've got peach, Davana, you've got sandalwood, blood orange, labdanum, and patchouli. And this smells like the most dense, heavy, syrupy peaches that are just boiling in a pot of like some sort of booze. It's a really, really beautiful, it's really, really sexy. It does dry down to a sort of ambery peach sort of scent on my skin, and I think it's really, really beautiful. Definitely not one I'm gonna get much use of right now, being that it is like blazing hot outside. I'm probably gonna wait till fall and winter to crack this bad boy out, but nonetheless, I am happy it's in my collection and super excited to crack this one open in a few months from now. The next one that I'm going to talk about is Dua's Purity of Musk. And this is their take on Tom Ford's Pure Musk. This is a really beautiful, clean, soapy, sort of aldehydic fragrance. You've got musk, beeswax, you've got ylang ylang, orris root, benzoin, lily of the valley, tonka bean, bergamot. You have pepper and jasmine as well. This smells like a luxurious bar of soap that you'd find in a hotel. It's very clean, it's very bright. If you just want to smell clean and soapy, then I think this is a really good option for you. It sort of has a slight aldehydic sort of effect on my skin. Sort of the same effect I sort of get when I wear Chanel No. 5. This sort of gives me that effect, but like if Chanel No. 5 was a soapy fragrance, pretty much. It's really, really nice. If you're into soapy fragrances, if you're into smelling clean, fresh, and just pleasant, I think this is gonna be a real cloud. What is wrong with me today? This is gonna be a real crowd pleaser. If you just wanna smell clean, definitely office appropriate. It's definitely hot weather appropriate. I can't see this fragrance really offending anybody. Definitely really beautiful. Dua's Purity of Musk. The next one that I'm going to talk about was one that I was kind of excited for, honestly, when I saw it. This is called Classic, and this is their take on Guerlain's Mitsuko, but it's the extrait, and it's not just any extrait, it's the extrait that was from 1919. So it's super vintage formulation that they took inspiration from. Massam did source a bottle, a super old bottle, and recreated that fragrance for everybody, and this is it, and I am so excited. It's when they do stuff like this, like the Dua brand, when they do things like this and source out like super vintagey old bottles and recreate the fragrances, like that's the kind of stuff I live for. They're bringing back, in my opinion, a part of history and recreating it for people to experience, and I think that's such a beautiful thing, and something that I really value about Dua fragrances is when they go and they do this, it really shows that they care about preserving pretty much the culture of fragrance, in my opinion, because the 1919 formulation is one that I will probably never be able to experience, being that if you try to source something that old and intact, essentially, it's going to cost you so much money that it's going to be really hard to come by. And if you do come by it, you're going to be out of a lot of money, honey. And I love that they sourced a bottle and they brought us this classic, because that's literally what it is. When I smell this, I feel like I'm going back in time and smelling, you know, history. It's really, really beautiful. This is a more mature smelling fragrance, but nonetheless, this is really, really beautiful. Bergamot, jasmine, rose, you've got citruses, peach, jasmine, lilac, ylang ylang, oak moss, you've got spices, cinnamon, you've got vetiver and amber. And this is so beautiful. The oak moss is really prominent to my nose. It adds a sort of hazy, fluffy, sort of mossy effect to it. It's very dense. It's almost like you're walking through a really musky, dark forest, and you see like sun rays popping out in the distance, and the sun rays are sort of warming up the ground and everything around you. It's earthy. It's dense. There's something kind of sunny but yet dark at the same time about this fragrance. I do find it quite sexy. I feel like this would be a very good going out fragrance for nighttime. If you just want to smell really elegant, very timeless, very classic, I feel like this is going to be a really good one. It's really, really woody. It's very oak moss forward. It's very just gorgeous. I don't know how else to describe this. It's very much a mature fragrance. I feel like you must be really into classic fragrances to enjoy this one, but nonetheless, this is a really beautiful one, and I'm so happy it's in my collection. Definitely check it out, you guys. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is Rosa on Ice, and this is their take on Killian's Roses on Ice. And this is one that I really wanted to try out for a while. You guys, this is beautiful. The star player in this is the cucumber note. You've got juniper berries and lime that brighten the fragrance. You've got this really beautiful rose note that sort of lingers in the background behind the cucumber, but it's always sort of there, and sometimes you get really beautiful wafts of this like just refreshing, almost like watery rose. You've got musk and sandalwood. It is a very musky, almost like cucumber gin and tonic sort of fragrance. It's really, really beautiful. If you're into like slightly boozy fragrances, this isn't overtly boozy, but it almost gives me like a vodka-ish effect or like a slight gin effect. If you're into like refreshing fragrances, something that's going to be easy to wear in the summertime, that's going to be gorgeous, then this is your girl right here. I feel like it could be unisex, but some men might not be into cucumber and rose, that combination. I feel like it works really beautifully in this. I feel like it's totally unisex. Anybody could wear it. I feel like a lot of more women might gravitate towards this one, but nonetheless, I would love to smell this on the man. Like, this would smell gorgeous. Like, it's just so pretty and just like clean and so refreshing and just so summer forward, because that cucumber, I don't know why, I always associate like cucumber with summer for some reason, but this gives me such summer vibes, but with like an added edge to it. Definitely a good one. Check it out, you guys. Really, really nice. And all of these lasted a long time on my skin. Honestly, I didn't have any longevity problems with any of the ones I just talked about. Now, the one that I want to talk about, that I'm super excited to talk about, is one that was sent to me by Masam and the Dua team, so thank you, Masam. I was super excited to receive this one, and it is a Powdery Affair collection. You guys, this is stunning. The set looks like this. You get a fragrance, you get a hair mist as well, and you get a body lotion. And oh my god, you guys, I'm telling you now, my lovers of powdery fragrances, you need this one in your like life ASAP. This is a powdery lover's dream come true. The Extrait de Parfum, it is a, let's see, 2 fluid ounce, 60 ml bottle. Look how gorgeous this is, you guys. You've got this beautiful gold cap. You've got the frosted glass. It says a Powdery Affair on it, and oh my god, you guys. I wore this all day yesterday, and dang, and just look at the mister on this, you guys. Like, I'm sorry, but like Dua's upping their game in so many ways. Their packaging is getting better. Granted, I didn't have any problems with the packaging before, but they just like updated it recently, and I think it's so cool. Like, the fragrances sit securely in like this sort of, not styrofoam, but like this styrofoam like material, and they have a magnetic opening now, and like the bottles and the sprayers, just everything about the quality is so good. And I absolutely love this. I mean, I love this aesthetic. Like, look how beautiful that bottle is. This would sit on a counter or like your vanity so beautifully. But this one is just stunning, you guys. Jasmine Rose, you've got ylang ylang, you've got musk, tonka bean, and you have heliotrope. And the heliotrope in this is the star player to me. It adds this sort of fluffy, powdery, sort of slightly almondy effect to the fragrance that I really, really love. It sits on a lovely musky base. There is something so innocent and really angelic and romantic about this fragrance that I really love. Like, this just smells beautiful. Like, I feel like a beautiful woman would wear this and just radiate this beautiful powdery effect that smells sort of heavenly. I equate this heavenly feel to what I used to equate to the early 2000s Heavenly from Victoria's Secret. If you guys know that fragrance from the early 2000s, they've reformulated it since, but the early 2000s formula was so beautiful, so angelic. This has that same quality. It's not the same fragrance, but just as far as the feeling this gives me, it gives me that same sort of feeling that Heavenly used to give me, that it doesn't have now. Heavenly is a lot more watered down now, and it doesn't have that same oomph and like angelic aura that it used to have. But this has that same sort of angelic aura, and there's something so innocent and dainty and so beautiful. This almost gives me a yellow sort of floral effect, mixing in with that slightly powdery, almost almondy feel from the heliotrope, and it's so beautiful, you guys. Like I said, my powder lovers, rejoice, because this is one you need to add to your collection. And not just that, the hair mist, you guys. Oh my gosh, the hair mist. I hope they create more hair mist, because you guys, this is literally so summer beautiful worthy. Like, If you don't want to wear fragrance, but you just want some sort of clean smell to waft off, this is it. I literally sprayed this in my hair yesterday, and I woke up and went to the gym this morning, and I still smelled of this powdery gem. It's so beautiful, and the more you heat up, the more it like starts to project out, but it's soft and powdery, very feminine, very girly. For some reason, this almond note in the hair mist, not almond note, but the heliotrope note in the hair mist smells more almondy, and it's so beautiful. It's almondy and yet like yellow floral at the same time, but a little bit more almondy smelling for some reason than the fragrance itself. It still has it in the fragrance, but it's a little bit more prominent in the hair mist, which I love because it adds this other layer and effect to it. The three combined, you guys, I wore all three yesterday combined. Oh my goodness. It was so good. And let me tell you, I am so finicky and picky when it comes to lotion. I don't like being greasy. I have very dry skin, but I like lotion that's going to absorb quickly and is non-greasy and not going to leave me shiny, because I tend to look shiny a lot of the time even though my skin is ultra dry, which is really weird. So I like things that are quick absorbing, super easy, real fast to put on, and I don't have to like wait 10-15 minutes for it to like soak in, if that makes sense. This literally soaks in so quickly. It's non-greasy, it soaks in so fast, and it's so beautiful at the same time. And the scent, you guys, is so heavenly also. It comes in a frosted glass bottle. You've got this really beautiful gold sort of, I don't know how to describe it, like gold and then like clear top area. The fragrance has a little stopper at the top. You just peel it back, and you guys, this is stunning. Like, it's a nice thick consistency, and I'm gonna put a little bit on just so you guys could see. It literally starts to soak in instantaneously, and I don't get left with like this crazy like oily sheen that most lotions give me. Oh my gosh. And for some reason, the heliotrope in this one gives my skin a sort of slightly powdery banana almondy feel. It's very, very slight in the banana. It's not like overtly a banana scent, but you guys, this is like so addictive and so stunning and just so pretty. It's already like dry, you guys. Like, all I feel is softness, and I have this lingering powdery like feminine scent to my skin. It's so, so good. I'm really hoping that the Duo lotion becomes a thing, because layering this is going to be amazing. This is going to be an amazing base for just about any fragrance if you want to add a little bit more depth and a little bit more of a powdery angelic vibe or a very romantic vibe. I associate this sort of smell with really romantic, like close, like intimate settings, and I think this is so, so beautiful. It has a sort of innocent touch to it as well that I associate with like youthfulness and just beauty. So, so good, you guys. And like literally, this is so soft. Like, I'm honestly obsessed with the lotion, I'm obsessed with the hair mist, and I'm obsessed with the fragrance. Like, it's all so good, and I hope that there's more of this in the works. I know Masama is like working on so many projects right now, and I don't know how the man does it. I don't know when he finds time to sleep. But you guys, I feel like there's a lot coming out in the future, the near future, with Dua. So they're definitely a company to keep an eye out for, and definitely ones to check out. I highly recommend them. I always will. I have been a fan of Dua since, God, it's been a minute. For a while now. I have so many Duas in my collection. It's not even funny. And yeah, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys ever want to like contact me, I will put my Instagram link down below. And yeah, till next time, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.